Hello everyone, welcome to another video about fireproofing dwellings against wildfires. I cannot say enough, the main purpose of this channel is to save lives. So today we're going to present our first applications to protect the dwellings' roofs from wildfires. This is only for the design of new dwellings, not the rehabilitation of old dwellings, but only for new dwellings that are constructed. So, full disclosure statement, our research team has no financial interest in the materials of the companies presented here, okay? This research project is not supported by the private construction industry, and this is a non-sponsored video. All guidelines are technically free for everyone. So, remember the previous videos we showed you, the conclusions, where are the ignition spots on the dwelling. These were identified in the previous video. Roof, the doors, the windows, mainly the stairs, the access, the porch, maybe some columns that are made of wood. These are the primary ignition spots, and then you have the secondary ignition spots. For example, you have openings on your roof, small openings on the walls, and even maybe some vegetation near your house. So how to apply this to a wildfire? I already talked this about in the previous video. In any case, we reached the conclusion in the previous video and we demonstrated why for a house to be fireproof for a wildfire, it must withstand the fire for 60 minutes. It means it needs to be an EY 60 at least, okay? So the entire envelope, the dwelling facade, must have a fire reaction of at least B. Maybe C on the roof, and then we'll explain why C on the roof, S2 and D0, according to the European standards of fire reaction, okay? So these fire reaction needs were indeed demonstrated in the previous video, as we stated before, and so was the fire resistance of at least 60 minutes. I will not explain why. I recommend you to see the previous video to understand it. So, remember, these verifications that we're talking in this video are only for indoor standard fires in buildings, means these verifications may be conservative for wildfires. So we already talked about this. Wildfires do not present as higher temperature as indoor fires, and they are not as long as indoor fires. So normally a wildfire passes through a dwelling in less than 30 minutes easily. But conclusions for the ignition. So elements to fireproof, basically on the roof, is the roof tiles. These need to be at least some level of fireproof. The roof structure, we recommend not using wood structure, although it is possible, we recommend not using it, and avoid any roof openings. Even if the entire roof opening may be fireproof, this is a weak spot on your roof. And this is not a problem of direct contact with the wildfire, as we talked before, because hardly the roofs get hit by the flames. The problem is the projection of firebrands that they accumulate on the roof. Okay, so imagine a lot of firebrands accumulating near this opening may promote an ignition if this opening is not fireproof. Okay, so our recommendation, do not use openings in roofs. So, our suggestions, as I was stating, you should not possess any openings on the roofs. Okay, so situations like these should be avoided. The roof tile material should be at least C. Well, to be honest, I wrote here C, but we recommend B. Why C? Well, basically, as I told you, hardly these roof tiles will be hit by the flames. They'll hardly have any flammability effect, because even if they're burned into the air. Okay, so at least C, although we recommend B. Okay, maybe C is more economic, but to be honest, a lot of these tiles are already B, fire reaction. So I recommend at least fire reaction B. The roof structure should not be made of a combustible material, for example, like wood. Okay, although it can be possible, and I know a lot of you guys in the States, you use a lot of wood structures. It is possible to provide a solution, a fireproof solution with roof structure being made out of wood, but we won't talk about this in this preview video. We'll talk about that in a later video. So if you want to know where you can find all these construction guidelines, you can check out our published work in the American Society of Civil Engineers, where we published a very important paper named Rethinking Dwellings Protection for Wildfires in Europe, basically in Europe. Although we understand some of these construction guidelines may not be very popular in the United States, in Europe they're perfectly applicable. Okay. Just a little bit of history. Although it's in Portuguese, this master thesis. This was the published master thesis that originated this research line in. If you want to check it out, just press the link below. Just press the link on the section below, just before the comments. Okay. So type of structure. What type of structure we want in order to be fireproof? So due to the ignition of dwellings made of wood, this type of structural solution should be avoidable. Once again, it's still possible, but avoidable. I'm not saying it's prohibited. No, it should be avoidable. Okay. The dwelling should possess, preferably, as I say, preferably a concrete structure and a brick masonry wall. Okay. Wood and steel structures are still possible, but require higher insulating to protect the primary structural elements, although still possible. So this is our basic roof, maybe the cheapest one you can made in Europe. Sloped roof with a concrete slab using precast beams. So the roof title should be, as I said, at least C. The fire reaction should be at least C, although we recommend B. Why do I say this? Because we have these lats, even though if this roof title may burn a little bit, you have the fireproof membrane and the rock wool insulation that has fire reaction A. And is, how should I say, it doesn't burn. And has a fire reaction, also a thermal insulation, very, very high. So even if these two work bad, that they may, due to firebrand projection, if it's C, I don't think firebrand projection would make a lot of hit in the roof title. So as I said, I recommend B at least, although I wrote here C, I recommend at least B fire reaction. Even if there's a problem or a combustion in these two, the fireproof membrane and the rock insulation will completely protect your structure from burning. Okay, and also you have around 5 centimeters to 10 centimeters supplementary concrete. This concrete will not burn. So this is the best, or should I say, classic fireproof construction solution you can have on your slope roof. So the fire-resistant membrane, something that exists, for example, from this provider. I'm not gonna name it. Okay, you can check it out on Google. The fire resistance is quite good and provides some thermal isolation. At this moment, you can also look at other providers. For example, this one. I'm not gonna say their names. You can check them online. They have rigid rock wool. So this rock wool can be here and be rigid. It is not, how should I say, as sensitive to water as soft rock wool. Okay, this is a new type of construction material. Very, very, very good. We test this on lab and provides good results. Once again, not sponsoring none of these constructor companies. Okay, none of these providers are sponsors of this channel. I'm just saying these are one type of companies you can search to find this type of rigid rock wool. So why this roof recommendation is so good? For starters, we have no need for ventilation openings. We know on roofs made of wood structure, you need these type of ventilations to promote, how should I say, the freshness of the roof during the summer and the winter, stuff like that. But if you have a concrete roof, you have no need to have these openings. So these openings are not needed, means you will not have the entrance of firebrands inside your roof. So this is one of the problems of roofs made of wood structure. If you have these openings, somehow, I promise you, the firebrands will enter through the openings. And even if your roof doesn't burn, once it enters the openings, it will enter inside your house. And your house will start to burn inside just due to firebrand projections. Okay? So be very, very careful. And if this firebrand projections hit some of this wood roof structure, the wood will also start to burn. Okay? So the slop roof with precast beams, I think it's called joists in the United States. The advantage, they have very good thermal insulations. The fire resistance is very good. They're actually very light, and they have rapid application. At least in Europe, they're very rapid application and low need of framework. Disadvantage is low soundproofing. Although you live in your own dwelling, I don't see this as a big disadvantage, but in any case, I'm pointing it out. And requires higher impermeabilization. Some people say it's hard to transport. Well, they are heavy. That's true. So I'm putting here an alternative solution more in the needs of the States, people that are from North America, but still with a concrete slab. So instead of having these precast concrete beams that I know they're not very popular in the United States, you can have steel beams here. Okay, here you may have a lightweight concrete, presents very good insulation and very good fire resistance with at least 10 centimeters. Okay, so this is the exact same solution, but instead you still have this vaulted ceramics, just like here, which is exactly the same, the vaulted ceramics. You can still have them, but instead of having these precast concrete beams, I believe they're not very popular in North America, you can still have your steel beams. Okay, if you still want the more, how should I say, composite concrete steel solution, also very popular in the United States, you can have something like a slim 4 system. Okay, alternative to concrete joist beams, perfectly normal, but you will need at least above 5 centimeters. But once again, with lightweight concrete, contrary to this one does not need lightweight concrete. These ones will need, because you will need at least 10 centimeters of 10 to 5 centimeters of concrete here, so I recommend lightweight concrete. And also here for this slim 4 system, I also recommend lightweight concrete. So these clearly are very good fireproof solutions for your structure on your roof. Although the same combination of materials that you have here, for example, the roof tile, the lath, fireproofing membrane, and rock insulation, will also exist on this system with steel beams, and also will exist on this system with slim 4 system. Okay, they will exist on the top of it. Okay, this is just the structure. So roof don't have a slope roof with a wood structure, but if you have it, at least do not have a wood roof tile. I have seen this. Okay, this exists sometimes. This is a recipe for disaster if you have a wildfire near your house. Just by firebrand projection, your roof will most likely burn. Okay, so I give the good old example of groundskeeper Willie's shack. Don't have this type of wood structure. Okay, so try to avoid it. This is very hard to fireproof possible, but not the most economic solution. Okay, terrace recommendation. So terrace with a concrete slab, in which you have like stone plates on the top, and then you have a fireproof membrane and also the rock wool insulation, rigid rock wool most likely, and the combination of materials is exactly the same as the slope proof. Okay, once again, you can also have this either with a steel beam or with a slim 4 system, with a composite concrete system, whatever you want. If you have these, how should I say, combination of materials 1, 2, and 3, like heavy protection, like once again the rock plates, the fireproof membrane, and the rock wool insulation, your roof will be fireproof. But if you want to go any further, you can make, if you don't want to have all these protections, you can have something we call an active protection, in which you have like a terrace with a drain also for the yard, and then you have you have a system where the water comes out. You open this and the water comes out, like you need at least 2 centimeters. Once you know there is a danger of a wildfire near your house, you just open this facade here. The water will start to fill your terrace, like 2 centimeters. It's more than, and I don't even think you need 2 centimeters. 1 centimeter will be enough if you have like firebrand projection, which might be the most dangerous aspect of this terrace. If you have the water here, the firebrand will fall in the water and it will be extinct. You will have no ignition. Once the fire has started, you can press this control button here, and the water will exit your terrace. Okay, so this is a, we call an active solution. Remember, this solution for the terrace is a passive protective solution. This is an active protective solution. Okay, to be honest, this solution may need some maintenance. Okay, it's a very good idea, but may need some maintenance. So future recommendations. So we will do a future video about sloped roof with wood structure, because I know a lot of people in the United States prefer this type of solution. Okay, we can still find an idea to make a wood structure fireproof, but no wood on roof tiles. Okay, the fireproof solution will also be used for the rehabilitation of old dwellings, because old dwellings are the ones that are most likely made of wood structure, mainly their roofs. Okay, but we know this fireproof solution is ideal for classical North American dwellings, due to your tradition on building dwellings with wood roof structures. Okay, so post wildfire damage. Okay, all of these solutions provide a fireproof solution for a standard fire for at least 60 minutes. Okay, so your house, I will promise you, if you use these construction guidelines we give you on your roof will not burn due to wildfire. Okay, remember, our standard solutions are for indoor fires, which are, how should I say, more heavy in terms of fire load than a wildfire, so they are conservative solutions. In any case, depending on the chosen solution, some damage may occur, and some painting or small coating may be, some small coat repairing may be necessary. So your house will not burn, I promise you. I mean, your roof will not burn, I promise you that, but your roof may become black. Okay, in any case, the safety of the dwellings when the dwelling is hit by a wildfire is guaranteed. So I can promise you, if you are inside your dwelling will not burn. Okay, so to have an idea, imagine you have like imagine your dwelling is this oven, and as you can see, inside the oven or outside the oven, it's always very dark and very dirty. So you may need to paint or provide some small, as I said, small coat repairing may be necessary, but your dwelling will not burn and you will be alive. That I promise you. Okay, conclusions. For slab roof, a concrete slab is necessary. You can have the beams, the joists, as I said, can be precast beams, steel beams, or composite beams, whatever, but you need a concrete slab. Preferably no opening should be present in the roof, and the roof title should be at least fire reaction C. Once again, I said here C, but I recommend B, and should be non-combustible. Rock wool and fire-resistant membranes are used as both thermal insulators and fireproof material. So this solution will also provide a very good insulation for your house during either the winter or the summer. So this is a win-win case, in my opinion. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you guys like it. Hit that like button, comment in the section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.